There is a profound silence that often accompanies the journey of the solitary soul. It is a silence born not merely of the absence of others, but of a deliberate withdrawal, a conscious turning inward. For many, this solitude is a burden, a heavy cloak of isolation that stifles spirit. Yet, for some, it is a crucible, a sacred space where the self is forged, refined, and ultimately discovered. This is the realm where Friedrich Nietzsche, the enigmatic philosopher of the 19th century, found his most fertile ground. He was, in his own words, and in the eyes of many, the archetypal solitary wanderer, the free spirit who dared to break free from the shackles of tradition and conventional thought. His philosophy, deeply rooted in the experience of profound isolation, offers a radical re-evaluation of what it means to be alone, and more importantly, what happens when that solitude, once thought absolute, begins to echo with the presence of others. We begin our exploration with the very essence of this Nietzschean solitude, not as a mere state of being, but as a deliberate act of self-creation, a virtue in itself. Nietzsche saw it as an indispensable tool for self-discovery, for personal growth, and for the development of an unyielding individuality. He posited that true insight, genuine strength, and authentic values could only emerge from a deliberate disengagement from the corrupting influence of the masses. In his seminal work, Beyond Good and Evil, he implores us to choose the good solitude, the free, high-spirited, light-hearted solitude that, in some sense, gives you the right to stay good yourself. This is not a call to misanthropy, but a strategic retreat, a necessary cleansing. He further elaborates on this, stating that one must remain master of one's four virtues: courage, insight, sympathy, solitude. Because solitude is a virtue for us, since it is a sublime inclination and impulse to cleanliness, which shows that contact between people, society, inevitably makes things unclean. Somewhere, sometime, every community makes people. Base, too. Here, Nietzsche lays bare his conviction. Society, in its relentless pursuit of conformity and mediocrity, has a tendency to debase the individual. Solitude, therefore, becomes a sanctuary, a necessary condition for maintaining one's integrity and purity of spirit. It is the crucible where the individual can shed the accumulated dust of societal expectations and rediscover their authentic self. This initial phase of solitude, as Nietzsche understood it, is not an end, but a beginning, a preparatory stage for a grander journey of self-overcoming and value creation. It is the fertile ground from which the truly exceptional individual can emerge, unburdened by the common conscience and the herd mentality. The journey of the solitary, then, is not one of despair, but of profound potential, a deliberate embrace of isolation as a pathway to unparalleled strength and clarity. It is the first step in understanding what the solitary does when they discover they are not the only one, for this discovery can only truly resonate with those who have first mastered the art of being alone. To truly grasp the transformative power of solitude, Nietzsche introduces us to the figure of Zarathustra, his prophetic mouthpiece and the embodiment of the solitary wanderer. Zarathustra's journey begins with a decade-long retreat into the mountains, a period of profound introspection and wisdom accumulation. He is depicted as a bee that has gathered too much honey, a vessel overflowing with insight, yet he remains in isolation. This extended period of withdrawal is not a passive escape from the world, but an active engagement with the self, a deliberate cultivation of inner strength and clarity. It is during this time that Zarathustra hones his philosophy, unburdened by the clamor of the marketplace or the expectations of society. His solitude is not merely an absence of company, it is a fertile ground for creation, a necessary condition for the birth of new values and perspective. The wisdom he accrues is not for hoarding, but for eventual dissemination. Yet the preparation for this act requires an intense, solitary gestation. This highlights a crucial aspect of Nietzschean solitude. It is often a temporary, instrumental phase, a means to an end rather than an end in itself. It is the forge where the individual is tempered, preparing them for the arduous task of self-overcoming and the eventual confrontation with humanity. Without this period of intense self-reflection, the individual risks becoming a mere echo of societal norms, incapable of independent thought or genuine creativity. Zarathustra's retreat underscores the idea that profound personal growth often necessitates a deliberate stepping away from the collective, allowing the individual to hear their own voice amidst the din of external influence. It is a testament to the belief that true strength is cultivated not in the crowd, but in the quiet depth of one's own being. This is the essence of solitude as a tool for auto-transformation, a concept that challenges the conventional understanding of human connection and personal development. It suggests before one can truly engage with others, one must first master the art of engaging with oneself in the profound and often challenging silence of solitude. Yet, the journey of the solitary is rarely a straight path. After a decade of profound introspection and wisdom accumulation, Zarathustra, overflowing with insights, feels a compelling urge to descend from his mountain retreat and share his wisdom with humanity. This marks a pivotal moment, the transition from a productive solitude to an attempt at meaningful engagement with the collective. He anticipates a receptive audience, eager to absorb the truths he has painstakingly unearthed. However, what he encounters is a profound disillusionment. The masses, steeped in their conventional beliefs and herd mentality, are largely unreceptive to his radical ideas. They cling to their comforting illusions, their established values, and their collective consciousness, unable or unwilling to grasp the depth of his insights. This leads to a paradoxical and deeply unsettling realization for Zarathustra. He feels more isolated among the than he did in his solitary mountain abode. The physical presence of others, far from alleviating his solitude, intensifies, highlighting the chasm between his elevated understanding and their ingrained mediocrity. Nietzsche, through Zarathustra, illustrates a crucial point. True isolation is not merely physical separation, but a profound intellectual and spiritual disconnect. The mediocre man, he argues, is not only isolated from himself, but is progressively absorbed into a faceless collectivity that suffocates his individuality. This absorption into the crowd, far from offering solace, leads to a deeper, more insidious form of loneliness, the loneliness of being misunderstood, of having one's unique perspective drowned out by the chorus of conformity. This phenomenon is further exacerbated what Nietzsche terms the common conscience, or the social imprint. Even in physical solitude, the norms, habits, and values of society reside within us, an inner voice that conditions our thoughts, interpretations, actions, and ultimately, our very way of living. This internalized societal voice, a constant echo of external expectations, can be more stifling than any physical confinement. It is a subtle yet pervasive force that prevents genuine self-reflection and independent thought. Nietzsche urges us to confront this inner voice, to question its authority, and to recognize its pervasive influence. This critical self-examination, he contends, is only truly possible in the quietude of solitude, away from the incessant demands and distractions of the social realm. The marketplace, with its noise of the great actors and the buzzing of poisonous flies, becomes a metaphor for the superficiality and intellectual stagnation that can engulf the individual. It is a place where genuine thought is replaced by clamor and authentic connection by fleeting interaction. Thus, the solitary, even when surrounded by others, remains profoundly alone, grappling with the internalized echoes of a society that seeks to homogenize and control. This profound sense of alienation, however, sets the stage for a new kind of search, a quest not for mere company, but for genuine kinship, for those rare individuals who can truly understand and appreciate the solitary's arduous journey. It is precisely this profound disillusionment with the masses that propelled Zarathustra, and by extension Nietzsche, towards a new understanding of community and connection. Having retreated once more into solitude, Zarathustra's focus shifts from attempting to enlighten the undifferentiated crowd to seeking out a select few, the higher men. These are not individuals defined by social status or conventional success, but by their intrinsic qualities: introspection, discipline, self-overcoming, and an unwavering love of life. They are the rare souls who, like Zarathustra, have embraced their solitude not as an affliction, but as a forge for their spirit. This quest for higher men is a crucial turning point, revealing that Nietzschean solitude is not a nihilistic embrace of isolation, but a preparatory stage for more profound and authentic form of communion. The solitary, in their arduous journey of self-discovery, eventually yearns for echoes of their own spirit, for companions who can truly understand the weight and the glory of their path. This is not a community built on shared mediocrity or comforting illusions, but on a mutual commitment to growth, challenge, and the creation of new value. Nietzsche famously challenges the conventional notion of friendship, suggesting that true companions are not those who merely affirm our existing beliefs, but those who push us beyond our limits, even acting as our enemies in the pursuit of truth. In Thus Spoke Zarathustra, he declares, "My brothers in war, I love you deeply because I am and have been your equal, and I am also your best enemy. You should be the kind of men whose eyes always seek an enemy, your enemy. You should seek your enemy, wage your war, and when you're defeated, then your honesty should cry out in triumph, even for that." This provocative statement underscores the idea that genuine intellectual and spiritual growth often arises from confrontation and challenge, not from complacent agreement. The enemy here is not an adversary to be vanquished, but a catalyst for self-improvement, a mirror reflecting our own limitations and prompting us to transcend them. Thus, the solitude that initially seemed to separate the individual from all others ultimately becomes the very force that drives them towards a more meaningful and selective form of connection. The solitary discovers that they are not, in fact, the only one. There are others who have walked similar paths, who have wrestled with similar demons, and who share the same profound yearning for authenticity and self-overcoming. This realization transforms the nature of their solitude. It is no longer a desolate wilderness, but a shared landscape, a silent understanding that binds these rare spirits together. The solitary's echo, once a lonely sound, now reverberates the presence of kindred souls, forming an invisible community of those who dare to live beyond the herd. This is the profound discovery that the most intense and transformative solitude can paradoxically lead to the most authentic and elevating forms of human connection, not with the many, but with the few who truly matter. This intricate dance between solitude and community, between withdrawal and engagement, forms the core of Nietzsche's dialectical understanding of human existence. The introspective solitude, so vital for self-discovery and the forging of individual values, is not presented as an absolute, immutable state. Rather, it is depicted as a dynamic process, compatible with life in community, yet demanding periodic retreats. As Zarathustra himself advises, there are times when one must lose me and find yourselves, and only when you have all denied me will I return to you. Indeed, with different eyes, my brothers, will I then seek my lost one. With a different love will I love you then. This cyclical movement from solitude to engagement back to solitude is essential for continuous growth and the reevaluation of one's perspective. A temporary retreat into solitude serves to dissolve one's entrapment in being a mere member of a crowd. Society is thought of as higher than its members. It is a necessary detachment to prevent the individual from being subsumed by the collective consciousness, allowing for a fresh, unburdened return. However, Nietzsche is far from naive about the challenges and inherent dangers of this path. Solitude, while a powerful catalyst for growth, is also a demanding mistress. In its stark embrace, everything one carries within, both virtues and vices, tends to amplify. The inner beast grows, and with it, the potential for profound despair. Nietzsche acknowledges that only a select few possess the fortitude to truly bear solitude and harvest its fruits. There will be moments when the solitary soul, weary from the relentless self-examination, cries out, "I am alone," or feels that everything is false. These are the trials by fire, the moments when pride may cringe and courage may gnash its teeth. Yet, it is precisely through these arduous trials that the individual's will is strengthened, their values are forged, and their capacity for self-overcoming is tested and affirmed. The solitary, in this sense, is the ultimate free spirit, one who challenges society's relentless desire to turn the human being into an absolutely gregarious animal. They are the ones who dare to live and think outside the confines of popular opinion and cultural conformity. While the masses may have renounced their will and become conformists, the solitary, through their deliberate embrace of isolation and their courageous confrontation with their inner world, achieves a profound and authentic freedom. This freedom, however, comes at a cost, demanding a constant vigilance against the seductive pull of the herd and an unwavering commitment to one's own unique path. It is a freedom earned through struggle, a testament to the power of the individual to transcend the limitations imposed by both external society and internal doubts. In conclusion, Nietzsche's exploration of solitude is far more nuanced than a simple endorsement of isolation. It is a profound philosophical journey that redefines the very nature of being alone, transforming it from a state of deprivation into a powerful catalyst for authenticity, self-overcoming, and ultimately a more meaningful form of connection. The solitary, in Nietzsche's vision, is not destined for perpetual loneliness, but rather embarks on a heroic quest to forge their own value, unburdened by the dictates of the herd. This arduous path, while fraught with challenges and moments of profound despair, paradoxically leads to the discovery the solitary is not, in fact, the only one. There exists an invisible community of kindred spirit, higher men, who, having also embraced their own solitude, resonate with the echo of similar struggles and aspirations. This shared understanding, born from individual strength and self-mastery, forms the basis of truly authentic and elevating human connection. It is a community not of conformity, but of mutual challenge and growth, where individuals inspire each other to reach ever greater heights. Thus, the initial illusion of absolute solitude gives way to the profound realization the most intense personal journeys can lead to the most authentic collective bond. The solitary's echo, once a lonely sound in the wilderness of self, now reverberate with the presence of others who have dared to walk. Nietzsche's philosophy, therefore, invites us to embrace our own solitude not as an escape, but as a vital step to self-discovery and the eventual forging of a community built on strength, authenticity, and a shared commitment to the elevation of the human spirit. It is a call to reflect deeply on our inner voices, to question the societal imprints that shape us, and to courageously seek out those rare individuals who can truly accompany us on the journey of becoming who we are.